What's going on, everybody, and welcome back to Comic Breakdown. If you guys are new to the channel, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out. In this video, we are jumping into the Amazing Spider-Man issue number 2. And what we saw in issue 1, we have a 6-month time frame. Something has happened to Peter Parker. Whatever that something is, he is now dealing with the ramifications of that event. All of his debt has been racking up. He has burned bridges with so many of his friends. And Mary Jane has moved on, appearing to have some kind of family. And while all of this is stacked against Peter Parker, the criminal element of this city is coming down, they are waging a war, and all hell is about to break loose. Be sure to check out the link in my description as well as the top of this video. It's gonna get you completely caught up on everything that has been going on with Spider-Man, with a story written by Zeb Wells. Penciler is John Romita Jr., inker is Scott Hanna, and colorist is Mariko Menez. Be sure to buy the comic, support the industry, and with that being said, let's dive into this breakdown. Alright gang, so as we dive into issue number 2, we are picking up with Norman coming to the front door of Peter Parker. He knows that Peter has been down on his luck. Right now he is trying to get back up on his feet, and that is exactly why Norman has come here today. He has come here to offer him a job, and it does hint that Norman had gave him some help. Not really sure on what help he was given. We have to assume this is linked to whatever happened 6 months ago. But whatever that favor was, Norman feels like Peter Parker almost owes him. And so with Peter Parker accepting this job, he heads out. We pick up later that afternoon around 2:30. Meeting up with Norman, this is where he sees Norman's grandchildren. The job is a babysitting job, with Norman needing somebody to watch his grandkids. He quickly drops the children off and he takes off before Peter Parker can object to any of it. And so while he's on babysitting duty, we are taken to Harlem. We are picking up with Tombstone. And right now, he is having a discussion with his daughter. He has brought her into the loop, kinda showing her the family business, if you will. But he has been trying to be a better person ever since she came into his life. With the war that is upon them, he knows what he is going to have to do. The Rose made the first strike, trying to detonate the mansion that Tombstone lives in. The house exploded, but Tombstone, he lived. Which means now it is time to go to war. And the person that he has to be, the person that he is about to become, he doesn't want her to see this. Going into the bathroom, this is where he begins to take out all of those caps that he has put on his teeth. Because the true savagery, it is about to begin. With Peter Parker being done with his babysitting gig, finally able to get out there on the streets and find out what is going on. Right now he knows that Tombstone is a threat. Tombstone had grabbed Peter Parker off the street. He did this to give Spider-Man a warning, to let him know that you need to stay out of my way. As Spidey heads off to the Harlem docks, that is where we pick up with the White Rabbit. Spider-Man breaking into this place, he had a tracker on this van the entire time, and now he is squeezing them for information, trying to figure out what they know of whereabouts on Tombstone. And right now, Peter is even willing to make a deal with them, letting them know, you give me this information, I'll let you guys go, at least for the time being. Like, we'll have our little catch up later on, but if you tell me where Tombstone is now, I can go take him down, and I'll worry about you guys later. And so cutting a deal, they let it be known where Tombstone is. With Spider-Man backing out of this deal, letting it be known there was no way he was just gonna let you guys go. He uses his webbing, he traps them in place as the authorities are about to make their way in. Taking us to the Upper East Side, we have Crime Master. And right now, Crime Master, he is having a meeting with all of his guys, only for it to get interrupted by Tombstone. For the most part, Crime Master has been saying he's staying neutral in this war. The war between the Rose and Tombstone. But with him acknowledging that the Rose even has a seat at the table, this does not sit right with Tombstone. Because of this, Crime Master is going to pay. As Spider-Man makes his way throughout the city, this is when he runs into Tombstone and what he just did. He took out Crime Master and every single one of his guys. And though Crime Master is still alive, all of the others, they're appearing either dead or unconscious. This is Tombstone reasserting himself into the crime world, making sure that his business is not questioned in the slightest bit. But he also needed this truck full of guns. Crime Master, more than anything, he is making an example out of him, telling Spider-Man that he needs to run along. This does not concern him, that if you want to interject yourself into this whole situation, it'll be something that you greatly regret. And just like that, this fight gets underway. Spider-Man's spider senses have been off for quite some time, believing this has to do with something that happened 6 months ago. But even with that, he goes in full charge. As Spidey goes toe-to-toe with Tombstone, there appears to be some kind of hydraulic system in here, and it begins closing in the walls inside this semi-truck. As Spider-Man tries to break free, he is quickly realizing he is trapped inside of here. As Tombstone grabs hold of Spider-Man and begins bear-hugging him, Spider-Man is doing everything he can to try and break free. And then we hear the crunch, ribs breaking, oxygen lowering, and this is when Spider-Man goes unconscious. That semi-truck, it ends up pulling into a warehouse with White Rabbit waiting at the gate. And that will be the end of this issue. So let me know what you guys think down in the comments. So this one really didn't tap on what is going on with Mary Jane, but it is more focusing on this war, this criminal war that is about to break out in the criminal underworld of New York City. With Wilson Fisk now being out of the picture, his son has taken up the role of Kingpin, but many of the other criminal warlords, they have something to say about this. Specifically Tombstone. The Rose is also trying to make his play as well, being the other child of Wilson Fisk. And though Rose was the one to make the first strike, we are seeing Tombstone coming out of his corner swinging. Now when it comes to Spider-Man, we don't really know what happened 6 months ago. They are keeping this information hidden from us. We knew that he stole from the Fantastic Four. He did something that could have really jeopardized a lot of people. He is definitely not a favorite superhero to have around right now. And we see that this is affecting every aspect of his life, from his friendships to his relationships to even his Spidey sense. And that has finally caught up with him, unable to understand the situation that he got himself in. No Spidey sense to give him warning, not until it is already too late. This is what leads him to being captured by Tombstone, being squeezed so tightly that he goes unconscious. Tombstone warned him that he was coming for Spider-Man. Now it is a matter of what he is going to do with Peter Parker. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your theories. If you would like to support the channel, you can always do so by hitting the super thanks button. This button will let you donate directly to the channel, and every little bit helps us out. Now, if you can't do that, do me a favor, hit that sub button, hit that notification bell, make sure you're not missing any of the awesome content that we have coming out, and until the next breakdown.